watching Bama Broadcasting straight to you from Station 11 in Chicago. Today is May 18th, 1888. We have several interviews lined up for today, and I think that you folks will really enjoy it. First off, we have Michael Wang, here to talk to you about saloons in this beloved city of Chicago.
This is Bama at the Smith House Saloon on May 18th, 1888. This has become a large topic for the Anti-Saloon League. Despite the seemingly vulgar attitudes here, these places tend to be places of political discussion. There is also a lot of gambling in these saloons. Prostitution is also an issue here. Anti-vice reformers claim that the influence of harmful substances are driving women to act against their nature. Let's speak to this lovely woman over there. Hello, miss. What draws you to this place?
He's a streetwalker.
What's your name, miss?
Emma.
There are a few accusations that people in your line of work have been inspiring drug use among young men. Can you respond to that?
I don't know. I'm told to drink, so I drink. I do what I am told to do. But I always have to do that to ease my pain. It's the only thing to make it better.
Do you feel victimized in any way?
I have no other option. I do this or I starve. Yes, I am afraid of what might happen to me, but this is my only option.
So you reject the assumption that alcohol and other harmful substances are causing you to act in this way?
Absolutely. If someone were to help me, believe me, I wouldn't be doing this.
Really? She's a woman. Better she's here than driving down the wages of the hardworking men. At least she serves a purpose here.
Interesting opinion, sir. Well, there you have it, America. This is Bama signing off from the location of Smith House Saloon.
Thank you, Michael. Well, life at the saloons are interesting to say the least. Next, we have Bailey Foley, interviewing a dignified woman you all should know.
Good evening. This is Bama coming to you from Chicago. Tonight we have a very special treat. She has come all the way from her home in Ohio. Please welcome the former First Lady, Lucy Webb Hayes, wife to President Hayes. Mrs. Hayes, Lucy Lemonade, it is an honor and a great pleasure to finally meet you.
Thank you, Mr. Foley. It is my pleasure to speak to the great people of the United States of America once again.
Mrs. Hayes, you are considered to be the first successful First Lady to date. However, you have held some beliefs and morals that many in this country do not hold. Do you consider yourself a progressive woman?
I've always been a very progressive woman. My father was an abolitionist, and I shared his views. I learned temperance from my grandfather and vowed to never drink alcohol.
Ah, yes. This is where your nickname comes from.
Yes, Lemonade Lucy. My husband and I, while Rutherford was in office, banned all alcohol in the White House.
It seems to me that you had a lot of influence over your husband.
Rutherford is a very competent man without me. After all, he was able to be elected president. The Reconstruction, that time period in our history that dragged on for far too long, also ended with his administration, didn't it? But yes, I do have some influence over his decisions.
Some people find it odd how much influence you have over your husband.
I will not let you insult me by implying that I should not have influence over my husband simply because I am a woman, nor will I let you imply that my husband was weak for allowing me to have such influence over him. There are many people in this country who call me the first successful First Lady.
Mrs. Hayes, please believe me when I say that. I did not mean to insult you or your husband. However, I think that is all the time we have.
Thank you, Mr. Foley, and thank you, Mrs. Hayes. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your stay in this beloved city of Chicago. Next, we have Ann Stanton in Chicago to talk about women's suffrage.
This is Bama, reporting from our own studio on May 18th, 1888. We have the infamous presidential hopeful of the 1872 presidential election, Victoria Woodhull, and a writer for a local anti-suffragist paper who wishes to remain anonymous and who shall not be seen face to face with Mrs. Victoria Woodhull.
Isn't that interesting? Coward.
So, Victoria, how do you feel about the progress of the women's rights movement?
Movement? What movement? I moved to England because there was no movement. It is a sad moment when a woman cannot mention a man's love affairs in a newspaper without being called a witch. I talk about raising the hemlines of our dresses just a few inches, and all hell is freezing over.
So, you support women's suffrage?
Well, I certainly think that if we can run for president, we can handle the voting process.
You mentioned love affairs earlier.
If it is acceptable for men to have affairs, women should be given the same courtesy. I myself am a free lover. I have an inalienable, constitutional, and natural right to love whom I may, to love as long or as short as a period as I can, to change that love every day if I please.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Now we shall go to interview our anonymous anti-suffragist newspaper writer. Sir, what are your feelings on women's suffrage?
Well, a woman's place is clearly at home and not voting. Children would be neglected, divorce would be a huge phenomenon, and a woman's job is to care for her family, and it's unnatural for a woman to be promiscuous.
Wyoming, though not yet a state, gave women the right to vote in 1869. How do you feel about this?
Well, it's just stupid, really. It's a terrible idea, and several other Western states are thinking about doing the same thing, but really they're just doing this to try to swell the electoral vote to the level needed to achieve statehood.
Another reason often cited for women's suffrage is that women will bring a moral voice into politics. Do you agree with this?
Absolutely not. Just because a woman is a woman doesn't mean that they're more intelligent or superior in any way. In fact, they're inferior. Like prostitutes are a perfect example of this.
I think we are low on time. Thank you, sir. This closes out our
Thank you, Anne. That will close our show for today. Thank you for watching, America. Hope to see you next time on BAMA, here on Station 11.
Anti-vice reformers claim that the influence of harmful being inspiring drug that you
In this country do not hold. Do you consider yourself a progressive woman?
I've always been a very progressive woman. My father was an abolitionist, and I shared his views. Unfortunately, my father died when I was only 2. I was left in the care of my grandmother, from whom I learned temperance, and vowed to never drink alcohol.
Yes, this is where your nickname comes from.
Yes, Lemonade Lucy.
Reporting from our own studio audience on May 18th, 1888. We have, can we do this again? How do you feel about the women's suffrage movement?
Movement?
You're one ahead.
Well, a woman's place is at home, not voting. Children will be neglected.
Anonymous, what are you feeling? Should I say sir?
The only reason they're doing it is so they can get enough electoral votes to get to statehood.